Hey everyone, welcome to Homeschool. Hope everybody are doing good and welcome back to class 11 chemistry. We are with the chapter organic chemistry. You all know that we have started IUPAC nomenclature. We have already discussed naming of saturated hydrocarbons with heavy branches, naming of unsaturated hydrocarbons and naming of organic compounds with functional group. And this is our another session on the naming of cyclic compounds. So here cyclic compounds are two types. Alicyclic compounds we have, aromatic compounds we have. So first we will discuss about the nomenclature of alicyclic compounds. Even this nomenclature is very important. So try to understand it carefully, watch the video till the end. Definitely every point on cyclic compounds will be covered, right? So every example is important. Fine. The moment I say alicyclic compound, what do you mean by them? It means that you must have seen such compounds, right? Say a shape of a triangle, a shape of a square, right? So a shape of a hexagon, are they shapes? No, they are organic compounds. And this is a bond line representation of few alicyclic compounds. So what do you mean by this? Everywhere carbon is there, at every point carbon is there. And how many hydrogens are there with this carbon? Two bonds are already there. It wants two more bond. That means there must have been two hydrogens. So this is our CH2, this is our CH2. That means this is nothing but CH2, CH2, CH2. So three carbon atoms are connected in a cyclic way, right? And similarly, what do you mean by this compound? It is nothing but four carbons connected cyclically, right? And what do you mean by this? Here 6 carbons are connected in a cyclic way, right? So here carbon atoms are connected in a cyclic way. Such compounds are called alicyclic compounds, right? So you know what? When you name cyclic compounds, we will use the prefix. Here we have to use the prefix cyclo. So the word cyclo is very important for naming alicyclic compounds. So this is our rule number 1 that you need to remember, right? For example, how do you name this? Cyclo. There must be a prefix cyclo and 3 carbon atoms. So word root prop and all single bonds. So primary suffix A and E, right? So the name of this compound is cyclopropane. Similarly, this is cyclobutane, right? 4 carbon atoms, so but, all single bonds between carbons A and E. Why did we write cyclo? Because they are connected in a cyclic way. Similarly, very famous compound, this is called cyclohexane. Cyclohexane, right? So these are some examples of alicyclic compounds. Remember, when you name them, you must definitely add a prefix cyclo before a word root. Before your word root, cyclo word should come. So that is a compulsory rule that you must follow. And now let us see some variations and some rules along with examples. Okay, so example number 2. In case if you have a compound something like this one. So what is this? Everywhere carbon. This is actually a branch CH3, right? So this is a cyclohexane molecule, right? And there is a branch CH3. So what do you do? How do you name this particular compound? See, the carbon atom, this is carbon, everywhere carbon, this is CH2, here is CH2, here is one more CH2, here also CH2, everywhere CH2s are there, right? And the carbon which has got a branch, which has got a substituent group will get number 1 position. Okay, fine. So now, what is the name of the CH3? Methyl. Which methyl? It is 1-methyl, isn't it? 1-methyl, prefix is over. Now, before writing a word root, what is the word that you must use? Cyclo. So this is 1-methyl cyclohexane, right? So this is how you have to name whenever simple branches are there. Now observe the third example. I'll introduce 2 branches here. So suppose you have methyl group as 1 branch, another branch as ethyl group. This is ethyl group, right? So CH2, CH3. So now how do you give a name for this? 2 branches are there. So how do you number it? You see, the name of this branch is methyl. The name of this branch is ethyl. So alphabetically, which comes first? M comes first or E comes first? E comes first. So numbering is done alphabetically. Okay, so this is our rule number 2 that we are learning, right? So more than 2 branches when you have, number alphabetically. Okay, so alphabetically here E comes first, isn't it? So carbon atom carrying ethyl group will get number 1, then this gets number 2, this gets number 3. Don't go this way, 1, 2, 3, no, you know this carbon containing branch also should get a least number, right? So go this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So now you write the name. It is 1-ethyl, right? 3-methyl, then the word cyclo, 6 carbons cyclically connected, so cyclohexane, right? So this is how you have to name such compound. And we have another example here. Observe this example number 4, very, very important. Suppose if you have, there are no double bonds inside, it's not benzene, okay, fine. So if you have this compound, then how do you number this? See, obviously we can say that there are 2 methyl groups attached at same carbon and there is 1 ethyl group, okay, at another carbon. So how do you name this? We know that these 2 are branches and this is a branch, right? This is a parent compound. Fine. So now how do you number this? Here we studied, you know, this was methyl, this was ethyl. I told number the carbon atoms alphabetically, right? I mean, according to alphabetical order of side chains or side groups or substituent groups. Say ethyl, E comes first, so ethyl group containing carbon had got number 1. But here, this carbon is highly branched. So when a particular carbon is highly branched, you know, highly branched carbon should get number 1. Okay, so highly branched carbon, okay, should be given preference. Right? So this is what you need to worry about. And here this carbon gets number 1 now. This is 2, this is 3, this is 4, 5, 6. This way you have to number, right? So this is our rule number 3 that we have studied. Okay, fine. So now how do you write the name here? Okay, so this is ethyl, and this is, both are methyl. So alphabetically E comes first. For writing a name, ethyl only you should mention. So it is 3-ethyl, right? Hyphen 1,1 dimethyl, 1,1 dimethyl cyclohexane, is its name, right? So this is how you have to name such compound. So whenever you have too many branches at one carbon, that carbon should be given preference. Okay, though methyl alphabetically comes later than ethyl, okay, so we have given number 1 position for carbon carrying methyl is because this carbon is highly branched. There are 2 branches on this carbon. So that carbon should be given more preference. So that is the reason we have numbered 1, okay, for that carbon. That is the most important example one must remember. So now let us learn many more rules with many examples. Observe this compound, cyclohexane, and a functional group is there, right? OH is the functional group. Then this carbon itself gets number 1 position, no doubt in that, right? So how do you write its name? Cyclohexane, okay, -1 all, okay, cyclohexane 1 all. And in our previous video we have discussed, if any secondary suffix name is starting with AEIOU, then previously if E is there, that one we will omit, right? So cyclohexane 1 all. So why did we remove this E? Because secondary suffix has started with O. So if any secondary suffix, any functional group's name, you are starting with AEIOU, then previously if E is there in a word root, that one you have to remove, you have to omit, okay? So that is why we have removed E from this place, right? Because it's an alcoholic group starting with OL. O is one of the OL, right? So that's why we removed this E, right? Okay. So now look at this example. Double bond is there, functional group is there, right? So more preference you have to give it for functional group only. So functional group carrying carbon should get number 1, and this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the way of giving numbers for carbon atoms. So now write the name. There is no branch, isn't it? So directly we will start with cyclohex. You see double bond is there. So primary suffix is what? -ene. Which ene? 2-ene. 2-ene. Then at first position functional group 1 all, right? So this is how you have to name this compound. And coming to one important compound, here I'll be talking about rule number 4 in this case, right? Here you see, this is your side chain. So this is called as side chain, right? Fine. And this is normally a parent chain, okay? Fine. You count the number of carbons in a side chain. 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbons are there. So when the number of carbons are more in a side chain, then that side chain is considered as parent chain. This is considered as substituent group. Okay, so hope my point has become clear. See, if side chain has more number of carbons than a cyclic compound, okay, than a cyclic thing, then this is considered as main chain. This is considered as main chain. Let me write the point for you. If this is actually a branch, let me call it as branch. If branch has more carbon atoms than cyclic one, then branch is considered as parent chain. Branch is considered, very, very important, you have to note it down, considered as parent chain. Then ring, I'll call, instead of calling as cycle, I'll call it as ring. Ring is considered as substituent group. Okay, is that clear? Fine. Now this is my parent chain, main chain. Okay. So now this is like a substituent group. Ring is substituent group. Say at first carbon, this ring is attached. Okay. When I consider this as a substituent group, I will write its name as cyclopentyl. It's a pentane. 5 carbon atoms are there in a ring, right? I'll call it as cyclopentyl. Okay, so now how do I write its name? I'll write it as 1 cyclopentyl, 1 cyclopentyl, and how many carbons in the main chain? This I considered as main chain. Why? Because ring had only 5 carbons, whereas your side chain has 6 carbons. So I consider this as my parent chain and this as a substituent group. Okay, so how many carbons in a side chain? It is 6, right? So hex, all single bonds there. So hexane. So name of this compound is 1 cyclopentyl hexane. Right? Very, very important. See guys, in case, observe this. Yeah. If this is a compound, you know how to name this, right? Say this ring has 6 carbons. Ring has 6 carbons. Whereas your side chain has how many carbons? 1, 2, 3. Right. So now this one is considered as branch or substituent group and ring is considered as main chain. Right. So this one, how do you name? You will name it as, yeah, this carbon itself is number 1 because to this branch is attached. So 3 carbons in the sense propyl. So the name of this compound is 1 propyl cyclohexane. Cyclohexane, right? So when the branch has less number of carbon atoms than the ring, then the branch is branch only, right? It is considered as substituent group and its name is written as a prefix. So why we have not considered this as a prefix writing group? Why we have not considered this as a branch is because the carbon atoms are more than the ring. Then this is main thing and this becomes a side chain. Ring will become a substituent group. That's the reason we have named it as 1 cyclopentyl hexane. Okay, fine. And coming to next example, this is also very important. And your ring has how many carbons? 5 carbons, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side chain has how many carbons? 1, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, let me put star mark. 1, 2, 3. And this carbon is a part of a ring, not as a part of side chain. Be careful. This carbon is a part of ring, not as a part of side chain. Okay. Side chain has 3 carbons, ring has 5 carbons. Then which is considered as parent chain? Is this the ring or this side chain? Normally, what is our concept? Side chain has less carbon atoms only, no? Then definitely this is only parent chain we think. But no, if side chain has unsaturation. Now rule number 5 you try to remember. If side chain has unsaturation, then it is a parent chain. It is a parent chain. Okay. Ring will become a substituent group. Ring will become a substituent group. Okay. So here also you have to be careful. If a side chain has more carbons than a ring, or if a side chain has unsaturation or any functional group, then definitely that is your parent chain. Ring will become substituent group. Okay, so how do you name this? How do you number this? See, double bond containing carbon should get number 1 position. This is number 2. This is number 3. So at 3rd carbon, substituent group is attached. Right? You should not give number 1 position for this carbon. Because double bonded carbons are always have more preference, right? So 1, 2, 3. So how do I name this? It is 3 cyclopentyl. Okay, so prefix is over. Now word root. Chain has 3 carbons, so prop. And what is the primary suffix? Double bond is there. So ene, which ene? 1-ene. So this is the name of this compound. Very, very important. And coming to our last compound. Okay, you see small branches only. So here this is like methyl and this is also methyl, and this is CH2, CH3, right? So these are small groups, branches, you consider them as branches. But the thing is, how do you number this? Okay, so numbering is done with double bonded carbons. Double bonded carbons should get number 1 position. So how do I number? I'll number it from 1, 2, 3. Okay, why can't I number 1, 2, 3? It's because, you know, the heavily branched carbon again should get a least number. That's the reason I'm going that side. Okay, 1 anti-clockwise I'm numbering. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so how do I write its name? It is 6-ethyl hyphen 3,3 dimethyl cyclohex and primary suffix 1-ene. 1-ene. Okay, so this is the name of this compound. Look at these examples, guys, very interesting. See here. This compound, how do you name it? You see this branch, you see, it's not called as a branch actually, right? This is COOH. This is a functional group. This is a functional group. So if a side chain has a functional group, then that itself is your parent chain. That itself is your parent chain. Then your ring will become substituent group. Okay. So whenever you have unsaturation or whenever you have a functional group, see, number of carbon atoms like 1, 2, 3. Number of carbon atoms are lesser than the ring. Ring has 5 carbon atoms. But then if you have a functional group or if you have unsaturation, then definitely you have to consider this side chain as your parent, main chain. Then ring becomes substituent group. So how do you write the name here? So definitely when you consider this as your parent chain, functional group containing carbon, this itself is a functional group. So that carbon is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. And this is not number 4. This carbon actually belongs to a ring, not to this particular part. Careful there. Okay. So now how do I write its name? This is nothing but 3-cyclopentyl, 3-cyclopentyl, right? Cyclopentyl over. Now prefix is over, word root you have to mention 1, 2, 3, 3 carbons. So it is prop, propane, right? 1-oic acid. Propane 1-oic acid or propanoic acid directly. Without this one, you can join and write it off. Not an issue. Okay, fine. Coming to our second example. So here CO, here carbon, this is like CH2, this is CH2, this is like CH2 and this is CH, right? Okay. So now this is a functional group ketone, right? So let this carbon be number 1 carbon. So this is our number 2 carbon, this will be our 3rd carbon, this is 4th carbon, this is 5th carbon. So now this is like a branch. So this is your branch. You will mention this as a substituent group. So which so this is ethyl group, isn't it? So we will write it as 3-ethyl, prefix is over. Now word root. What is the word root? 5 carbons and it is cyclic, right? So cyclopentane, 1-ONE. CO group, when it is there, if you have to mention it as a suffix, you will mention it as ONE, isn't it? So the name is cyclopentane, 3-ethyl cyclopentane, ONE. Or without this one, straight away you can call it as pentanon, 3-ethyl cyclopentanon. That is also fine. Okay. So now you look at this compound. This compound. Double bond is there, functional group is there, ring is there, right? So now first you decide which can be a parent chain. Definitely this one, because double bond is there, functional group is there. So this becomes your substituent group. You have to write its name as prefix, not as suffix. Okay, not as word root. Fine. So now, once you select this as your parent chain, now the duty is to number this. So what way you will number? Definitely, this is the carbon having functional group, that gets number 1. This is 2, this is 3, and here is a carbon which is 4. Right? Very good. So now we have to mention prefix now. Which is a prefix? This ring itself is a prefix. It has 6 carbons. It's a cyclohexane thing, right? So it has got attached to first carbon. So the name is 1-cyclohexyl. 1-cyclohexyl. Over. Prefix is over. Now word root. How many carbons in a? Yes, this is 4th carbon, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbons. So it is bute, right? And there is a double bond. So what is the primary suffix? -ene. Which -ene? 2-ene. Bute 2-ene. Again hyphen. 1-all. Okay. So functional group OH, its name is all, right? So the name is 1-cyclohexyl bute 2-ene 1-all is the answer. Very good. And now coming to these examples, very, very important. So what is the name of this compound? This is cyclohexane, right? And this is COOH, carboxylic acid, directly connected to ring. So how do you name it as? You will write its name as cyclohexane carboxylic acid. Directly you will write it as carboxylic acid. Say if you have written something like this, cyclohexane 1, since first carbon this COOH is there, 1-oic acid. If you logically speaking, this is also correct, right? Cyclohexane 1-oic acid. But this is the correct answer. Say for the competitive examinations, when you have an options, suppose if you have both options, you have to tick for this one. So it is normally named as cyclohexane carboxylic acid. Okay. Similarly, this compound is named as cyclohexane aldehyde group. No, it is called as carbaldehyde. Cyclohexane carbaldehyde, right? So now this is even this is COOH group. Elaborately I wrote, right? So this is cyclopropane. So write its name in the comment section. So this is the homework question for you, right? So hope you have enjoyed these examples. I have covered almost all the possible ways of cyclic compounds. Okay, so practice them and work with more questions. If you want to feel nomenclature easy, if you want to get perfection in nomenclature, only possible shortcut is to practice more and more and more examples. The more examples you practice, more new things you will come to know, and more perfect you will get in a concept, and ultimately you feel confident about this IUPAC nomenclature. Okay, so I recommend you to practice. And I always tell organic chemistry is volatile. It can easily escape from your mind. If you want to avoid that, you should hold on in your mind by continuous revisions, consistent revisions. Okay, so that is the only shortcut to practice organic chemistry and to feel organic chemistry easy. So that's all I wanted to tell you. And in my next class, I am coming with the nomenclature of cyclic itself but aromatic compounds. Benzene and benzene-like compounds we will discuss in my next class, and that is also the most useful and wonderful video you will ever see. Okay, so do subscribe our channel and don't miss the next video. Definitely I'll cover every possible point of aromatic compounds naming, and along with that we will discuss something about bicyclo compounds as well as spiro compounds. Okay, so don't miss it out. Meet you all in the next video. Take care and keep learning, keep watching. Thank you so much.